Wait, hold on, stop everything. Because our hearts are literally being ripped out of our chests right now in New Orleans. Can you feel it? The air in the Superdome feels heavy today. Because the team we love is facing a brutal reality that we never wanted to see. We are witnessing the end of an era, and it hurts more than any loss on a Sunday afternoon. Our legends are standing at the exit door, and the front office just dropped a bombshell that changes everything. You will not believe what is happening behind the scenes with our core. Before we dive into this absolute nightmare of an off-season, I need every single one of you who dat faithful to hit that subscribe button right now. Because we are on a mission to reach 3,000 subscribers, and we need our tribe stronger than ever to survive this rebuild. We are building this community together, and your voice is the soul of this channel, so join us because nobody understands this pain like we do. Now look at what is happening to our family. We already watched Demario Davis walk away to join the Jets, and that was a dagger to the heart. But the bleeding is just starting. Alvin Kamara is the heartbeat of this offense, and he is the reason we have had hope for years, but his recent comments are chilling. When asked about coming back, he sounded so detached and so indifferent, and it makes me sick to my stomach. He even talked about the team bringing in Travis Etienne like it was just another day at the office, saying whichever direction they take it, he is with it. That does not sound like a man who is dying to wear the black and gold again. It sounds like a man who already has one foot out the door and is waiting for the moving trucks to arrive. Think about that for a second. Our explosive playmaker, and the guy who carried us through the post-Breeze era, is essentially saying whatever happens, happens. How did we get here? How did the culture shift so fast that our superstars are treating the Saints like a temporary gig? This is about grit and legacy and the identity of New Orleans football being stripped away piece by piece. We are talking about a guy who defined our Sundays, and now he is talking like a stranger. Does management even care about the bond we have with these players? It feels like they are looking at spreadsheets while we are looking at our heroes. I want to know if you feel as betrayed as I do, because this is not just business for us. This is our life and our passion, and seeing Kamara act this way is a total punch to the gut. Are we really ready to see him in another jersey while we struggle to find an identity? But wait, it gets even crazier, and honestly, it gets much harder to hear, because we have to talk about the Iron Man himself, Cameron Jordan. This man has been the wall and the soul of our defense for over a decade, and the signs are pointing to a messy divorce that nobody is ready for. People are whispering that the Saints and Cam are officially parting ways, and it feels like a bad dream. We have seen the rumors, and we have seen the additions to the defensive line like Anfernee Jennings and Tyree Wilson, which basically screams that the front office is moving on. Cam wants to play a 16th season, and he has been testing the market, which is his right, but hearing that he is being cryptic about where he wants to be is just devastating. This is the raw truth that they do not want you to focus on. They want you to think this is a natural transition, but this is a legend who deserves to retire in New Orleans. Imagine a Saints defense without 94 leading the charge, and without that massive personality in the locker room. It feels like the walls are closing in on the culture we built. This is a massive emotional pivot for all of us, because we went from being a playoff contender to a team that is cutting out its own heart. Is this really how it ends for a Hall of Famer? Is he just going to fade away into another city because we are too focused on a rebuild? The tension is sky high because OTAs are right around the corner, and we still have no clarity. Every day that passes without a deal for Cam is a day that the identity of this franchise dies a little bit more. I am losing my mind thinking about him sacking our quarterback next year while wearing some ugly colors. It is a total disaster waiting to happen, and the silence from the front office is deafening. They are letting these legends hang out to dry while we sit here wondering if we will even recognize this team come September. It is an absolute nightmare scenario for every fan who has ever cheered for this defense. And then there is the Taysom Hill situation, which is perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this entire saga. Taysom is the ultimate Swiss Army knife and the guy who literally did everything for this city and this team. But the silence surrounding him is absolutely terrifying. We all remember that final home game against the Jets last season where he got choked up in the post-game press conference. You could see it in his eyes and you could hear it in his voice that he was saying goodbye. He was almost accepting his fate right there in front of the cameras. Now he is an unrestricted free agent, and at nearly 36 years old with a history of brutal knee injuries, the talk has gone completely cold. It would be a total shocker if he came back at this point, and that reality is hitting us like a freight train. Last year, he struggled to find his rhythm and only had about 200 yards of offense, which is a far cry from the human highlight reel we used to know. But Taysom represents the spirit of New Orleans and the idea that if you work hard enough, you can do anything. Seeing him potentially walk away after being such a vital part of our success is just wrong. I am your best friend in this, and I am telling you the truth because I will not sugarcoat this for anyone. This is a redemption arc that might never happen. If Taysom leaves, it is another piece of our heart that gets tossed into the trash. What happens if this goes wrong? What if we lose Kamara and Cam and Taysom all in one summer? It would be a total collapse of the veteran leadership that kept this team afloat. We are looking at a complete gutting of the roster, and it feels like we are being left in the dark. I want to know if you can even imagine a Sunday without Taysom lining up at 5 different positions just to give us a spark. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night because these are not just players. They are the symbols of our resilience. And right now, it feels like the front office is ready to throw all that resilience away for a fresh start that none of us asked for. Now let's get into the heavy stuff because Mickey Loomis finally spoke out at the Hall of Fame golf tournament, and his words were like ice water to the face. When he was asked about contract offers for Cam Jordan and Taysom Hill, he paused and the silence spoke volumes. He admitted that Cam has an offer, but Taysom does not. Seriously, after everything Taysom has sacrificed for this organization, they do not even have an offer on the table for him. That is unbelievable, and it shows you exactly where the head of this front office is at right now. Loomis talked about self-determination and not putting deadlines on anything, but we all know what that means in NFL speak. It means they are moving on, and they are waiting for these legends to find a home somewhere else so they do not have to be the bad guys. And regarding Alvin Kamara, he mentioned resource management and seeing how he fits on the roster. Resource management. Are we talking about a human being or a piece of equipment? This is the man who carried this offense on his back, and now he is just a line item on a budget. I am losing my mind here because the lack of respect for what these guys have built is staggering. The pace of this rebuild is moving fast, and if we do not speak up now, we might wake up to a team that has no soul left. Here is a secret theory that only a true Who Dat insider would understand. I think the front office is trying to force these guys out to save face for a losing season ahead. They want to blame the transition instead of their own decisions. It is a calculated move that ignores the emotional bond we have with our stars. We are seeing a fast-paced analysis of a roster being torn apart, and it leaves me with a heavy feeling of dread. We are being told to trust the process, but how can we trust a process that discards the very people who made us proud to wear the fleur-de-lis? It is a high-tension moment for the entire franchise, and the stakes could not be higher. If they handle this wrong, they will lose the locker room, and they will lose the fans. We are watching a slow-motion train wreck, and the conductor is telling us everything is fine. It is not fine, and we need to realize that the Saints we knew are disappearing right before our eyes. This is the crossroads of our history, and the vision of the future looks incredibly uncertain and honestly a little bit scary. We are looking at a New Orleans Saints team that might take the field without its most iconic faces for the first time in a generation. It is the end of a chapter and the beginning of a cold and clinical era that feels foreign to everything we stand for in this city. But I am telling you right now that we are the ones who keep the fire burning. Management can change the names on the jerseys, and they can talk about resource management all they want, but they cannot take away our passion. I want to see your fire in the comments below, because this is where we take a stand. Is this really our year to rebuild, or are we being let down by a front office that has lost its way? Do you want to see Cam and Taysom and Kamara back, or are you ready to say goodbye to the past? I want the raw and honest truth from every single one of you, because we are the heartbeat of this team. We need to reach 3,000 subscribers to make sure our voice is loud enough for them to hear us all the way at the facility. We are the Who Dat Nation, and we do not just accept things lying down. This is our team, and these are our legends, and we deserve better than cryptic answers and empty offers. Let out all that frustration and let out all that hope, because we are in this together until the very end. No matter who is on the field or who is calling the shots in the front office, our loyalty remains to the black and gold and to each other. We are a family, and we will survive this transition, but we will never forget the ones who bled for us. Stand tall and stay loud, because the storm is coming, and we are the only ones who can weather it. Who Dat Nation.